Good evening and welcome to the weekend eve. And I've got background in my ear. Excuse me. Welcome to the weekend eve. I am Brian Kress, the Awesome Voice, and this is Any Given Sunday on KUAW. 816-599-6893 is the phone number. Coach 24, Darwin Penny, is not here again. He is out of town, busy on his job or on his career, as you would say. And we've got behind the scenes, running the show, DJ Scatter, George Walker. Mr. Walker, how are you doing this evening?
Well, we're trying to get all the ones and twos together here, but I am doing super fantastic.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I still hear that backfeed in my ears, and that's driving me absolutely nuts.
Yeah, I don't think it's going out. I think it's the headsets, but I don't know.
Oh, no. So that's not good. So anyway, we've got we've got a lot going on. We had the Royals play today, and the Royals won. And they have won 3 out of 4 out of the Chicago White Sox. And make no mistake, you know, the Chicago White Sox are not the World Series favorites or anything like that. But the fact that we can beat the White Sox 3 out of 4, and we almost beat them 4 out of 4, and had we had done that, we would have been tied with the White Sox. We would have been even at, I believe it was 24, 20. Let's see, because they've won the last 2. Yeah, it had been something like 12 and something or 24 and something. I'm looking at these numbers right now. Yeah, because they won last night. They won big last night, and then they won today. And they won on a bunt single by Freddie Furman, the backup catcher, who gave Salvador Perez a night off. And it's the second, his base hit drove in the winning run. I believe Nick Prado was the guy that scored it. And it was the second time in Royals history, in the 54 years of Royals history, that a person butt singled to drive in a run to end the game with a victory. The other time was Frank White, 1975, and then he did it again in 1982. So he did it twice. So Freddie Furman is the second player in Royals history to do that. So saying that, with that, they have a 12-27 record. And actually, I'm looking at this because the Chicago White Sox are 13-26, and the Royals are 12-27. So had they had won Tuesday night, they would have been out of last place in the Central Division. They would have been have a better record than the Chicago White Sox, and they would be the third worst team in baseball. Now, saying that, the St. Louis Cardinals are 13-24, and they spend money to get players. So, right now, I know the Royals are struggling. I know the Royals are not playing good. I know that they have had a horrendous March and April for the second year in a row. But say that, they have been playing much better. I was at the game Friday night. I was at the game Sunday. I was at the game where Ryan Yarborough got drilled in the face with that line drive, and I hope he is doing all right. But before then, he was pitching immaculately, and so it seems like every time that the Royals move forward a couple of steps, something happens that kind of knocks them back a little bit. But they are getting better. They are hitting the ball better. Brady Singer had a great pitching day. Gave up 1 run, and then Yodonis or Uraldis Chapman gives up 2 runs after he gets 2 outs. Gives up 3 straight hits. They score 2 runs. They tie the game, and Brady Singer's game just goes for naught. But the other pitchers, and I can't remember which ones they were right now, but it is it was a great day. They won, and now they go to Milwaukee for a 3-game series, and I believe they go to San Diego afterwards for 3, and then they go somewhere else. Right now, I'm not sure where they're going, but that's all right. But Tuesday night when they were going into the game, they were saying that in April they had a horrendous April, but in May they were averaging. Going into Tuesday's game, they were averaging 7.33 runs per game, which I believe was 4th in Major League Baseball after they were the worst scoring team in March and April. So they were getting better. Their hitting is better. They're still improving, but I enjoyed going to the game. I took my grandson, Landon, and I took my granddaughter, Chrislyn, who had never gone to a game. And it was just, I enjoyed watching them, just watching the game. And I know Chrislyn, though, she, later in the game, she was like, "How much longer do we have?" And I'm thinking, oh, these kids today, they're wanting to hurry up and get it done and everything else. I know when we got there, we got some cheesy corn acho or brisket acho. Actually, I think it's nacho, but they say acho. And so we got that. We went and sat down, and then Salvi hit the longest home run in his career. 462 feet, and he crushed it. So we got to see it there. Totally enjoyed it, everything. And Robbie Malone, he keeps getting the scorecards, and he keeps collecting baseballs. Now, Friday night, I was sitting in the middle section. I guess it's the 300 section, but it's the middle section. I was sitting with a couple of my friends, Kelvin and Cardis. Cardis had the tickets, and he asked me if I wanted to go, and I said absolutely. So I did go. And so we were sitting there. There was not much of a crowd. I believe there was less than 11,000 people. And so late in the inning, or it was in the 8th inning, late in the game, in the 8th inning, a foul ball. We're sitting the first base side. And so, and I don't know who hit it, but they hit a foul ball, and I am turning around talking to Kelvin, and Curtis goes, "Hey, foul ball!" And I look up, and there's the foul ball. And usually, when you get a foul ball, people are going, "Oh my God, I got to get it, I got to get it." And I just sat there and just looked at it, and then I just reached out, and it hit the palm. This part of my hand, and it bounced like a trampoline, and it went off and went down to the lower level, and these guys over on the right side were laughing at me because I was like, "Oh, boo," all that. And my friend Cardis, who will never live this down, he will give me a hard time. He goes, "You should have caught it with 2 hands." And I was like, I thought I could catch it like that, but it numbed my hand for like 2 hours. So I should have used 2 hands, but I wasn't even thinking about it. And then he turns around and says, "Well, if you had just left it alone, it would have just bounced around and you could have gotten it." Well, now he tells me, but I thought I had it. But it was anyway. It was a good time. Though they did not win Friday night, they got beat pretty bad. But Friday night was good, and then Saturday they honored Lorenzo Kane, Low Kane. That was awesome. He was a great player, and he's definitely a type of player that the Royals could use right now to help boost this team and get them going a little bit. Because even if the Royals go 500 the rest of the way, they're still going to be 15 games under 500. And that's not going to be good. And they'll be struggling to win 75 games. But saying that, they are getting better. They do play hard, but at the same time, they're still not winning games. But like I said, they just won 4 of 5. So hey, we're doing pretty good. So anyway, what do you think about that, Mr. Walker?
Well, I'm thinking that if they can start bringing some games back, even if they finish a little under 500, if they're not totally in the cellar as they are, now, will be an improvement. I mean, they dug themselves a pretty good hole.
Right.
So I'd like to see them, with about 6 or 7 teams under them or something, that this new skipper is and the team is coming somewhere.
Right.
And we'll give them another year.
Right.
To really start showing something. But I mean, the way it was starting, it was like, hey, this is just terrible. But to start racking up some wins, I'm optimistic that maybe they're going to be able to start turning this in a better direction.
Oh, absolutely.
That's my thoughts.
Well, I do like that they do not quit. They keep fighting, and you can tell when a team quits. Even Oakland, that has the worst record in baseball, they came in here and they fought hard. So anyway, but you can tell when teams give up and everything else. That would be like the Dallas Mavericks.
It's good to see them putting together some wins. If they can have a win streak, a few of them. Even if, like you say, you're not going to have a team that's going to be in the playoffs.
No.
You kind of know that. But if we have a team that is showing some promise,
right?
They've got a young team. If they can, show some promise, then that'll be good. If pitching picks up a little bit,
right?
And if the offense,
right.
If they just pick up all the way
right.
around. Really,
well, they have been picking up in the month of May, so I will give them credit for that. Like I said, they were averaging 7.33 runs going into Tuesday's game. Now, Tuesday they scored, what was it? I don't see it. Where? Oh, here it is. They scored 2 runs, but that was a low scoring game. But then they turned around and scored 9 runs the next day, and then they scored 4 runs. Yep, 4-3. So, but they got the victory. But still, they are getting better. Like I said, they are going to Milwaukee and going to try to see. Hey, they play better when they're on the road. So,
well, and it's good to see that the pitching kind of helped. There's a lot of teams early on that we'd have a lead, but we couldn't keep it.
Right. Well, and then Aroldis Chapman, blew that, and I was like, no. I was driving home from work, and I was just like, oh my gosh, the Royals were playing good, and then they said it ruined Brady Singer's game that he had. He had a great game. He had been struggling the last 2 or 3 starts, and then he came in and just totally rocked it. I believe it was like 6 innings, and gave up 1 run. And so, that's what they need, because he is, Zach Greinke, is the leader. He's the eldersman. Yeah. But Brady Singer is the future. He is the guy, and he needs to be the one that when the Royals are in a losing streak that he can shut it down, and he did. And then one inning, they just turned around. And I believe it was the eighth. It was the eighth inning, and he blew it. So and eventually, there's already people talking about trading for him. There's already teams calling for him. So and he's going to be going. That was the main reason why he even came there, so they could try to get some more prospects and stuff like that, so they can try to build a team. But yeah, very interesting. And my Padres right now are 19-17, but they have, but they have lost the last 2 games to the Minnesota Twins. In fact, they won Tuesday night, the Padres, and then they lost last night and today. So they are actually 19-19. Minnesota leads the American League, and they have a 21-17 record. So, but I have to mention my Padres because my Padres are my team, and I love the Padres. I have the Royals and the Padres. They're kind of like 1A and 1B. But anyway, but here is the most important sports going on: the NFL schedule, and the NFL is finding an amazing way to promote this and make it a big deal the way it is. Now they said that tonight. So when we're done with this show at 7 o'clock, roughly that's when the show is going to start. They're going to start picking all the schedules for the NFL teams and everything else. Now, in front of me, I do have the Kansas City Chiefs schedule. Yes, so I'm special. But right now, week 1 in the opener on, I believe, I know it's Thursday night. I don't know if it's going to be ESPN or if it's going to be Amazon or whatever. But the Kansas City Chiefs, your defending champs, Kansas City Chiefs, will play host to the Detroit Lions. Now, we have talked Bengals. We have talked the Bills. We have talked the Eagles. We have talked a lot of teams, the Chargers. And yet, it was the Lions. Now, I am wearing Barry Sanders' Detroit Lions jersey, and this is actually 90. Well, it says 96 on here, but the Detroit Lions have the longest streak of not winning a playoff game, 1991, and it was when they destroyed the Dallas Cowboys. And I can say that and kind of say it lovingly because Coach 24 would look at me like, yeah, I know. You don't have to keep saying it, but I did. I brought it up. So it was the Detroit Lions who beat the Dallas Cowboys, and then they turned around the next week, went to RFK Stadium, and played the Washington Redskins. Obviously, the Washington Redskins not only did beat the Detroit Lions in the NFC Championship game, but then they turned around and beat the Buffalo Bills 2 weeks later in the Super Bowl, and which was the second of the 4 Buffalo Bills Super Bowls. So, but the Detroit and Kansas City is that night. Now, Dallas will go to the New York Giants for the Sunday night football opener. And the Dallas Cowboys have beaten the Giants 11 of the last 12 times that they've played. But they're probably thinking that the Giants are improved, they're going to get better, and this is going to be a more competitive game. I still see Dallas going in and stomping all over the Giants. And it will ruin that thought that the Giants are going to be good. But, yes, they're back. And then Monday Night Football, Aaron Rodgers will have his first home game as a New York Jet when they host the Buffalo Bills. So it'll be Josh Allen versus Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry, it threw me off for a second. My brother is calling me, so I will call him later. It just threw me off. But yeah, Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers. And you know how ironic it is that Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback. Okay, he's only won one Super Bowl. He's only been to one Super Bowl. But saying that he has been to more Super Bowls than Josh Allen, he's been to more Super Bowls than Mac Jones, he's been to as many as Joe Burrow, but he has got the victory. And Tua Tagovailoa. So he is considered the best quarterback in there, and it improved a division that really was great with everything else, just not the quarterbacks, with the exception of Josh Allen. Josh Allen is a very good quarterback. So, yeah. So here are other games that we are looking at. You have the Cowboys going to the 49ers, playing Week 5 on Sunday Night Football. Then you have the first Black Friday game. Now, normally you have Thanksgiving, you have 3 games. Then you have Black Friday, and Black Friday you have roughly 3 college football games. Yes. You've got Missouri and Arkansas. It used to be Oklahoma and Nebraska. That was a great rivalry. I love that. But there's other teams that are playing, and usually I don't know who they are, but I do know the Missouri and Arkansas won. But now on Amazon Prime Video at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Black Friday, November 24th, they will have the first NFL game with the Miami Dolphins going to the New York Jets. So it'll be Tua versus Aaron Rodgers. So you know the Jets is really pumped up because then now they're getting a lot of notoriety, and it'll either be good or bad. It'll be one of the two.
But
So
I mean, they're bringing up teams to go on college football days.
they're taking over everything.
That's kind of, I don't know. That's kind of. Are they gonna play Saturday games too then?
No,
While college is playing.
no. Well, I don't. Well, they do play Saturday games, but that's more in the
Usually
end of
after college
December.
stops, right?
Right.
So it used to be kind of that unwritten rule that they didn't play, and that was a day that college had.
Well, does Roger Goodell do anything?
Why do you want to take a Friday? I mean, a Friday on top of that. I mean, it's not like, Amazon paid them some money.
Yes, Amazon paid. Oh, yeah. Amazon paid $1 billion to the NFL so they can have this game. So, absolutely.
Yeah, it's just like ABC when we got Monday Night Football.
Right, right.
So, yeah, for the money,
Yep.
It will happen.
Yep, absolutely. So now you have the 49ers going to Philadelphia, Week 13, December 3rd. And I believe that is just I'm thinking that maybe Sunday Night Football, but it could just be a 12 o'clock game. Then you've got Christmas Day. You have the Chiefs playing host to the Raiders. And then you've got Week 17. You have the Cincinnati Bengals going to Kansas City on New Year's Eve. So they wanted that game to make it still a great rival at a important time because both teams are going to be fighting for playoffs. They could have already clinched a playoff. We don't know. But they do have that. Now, also you have the Super Bowl rematch, Philadelphia at Kansas City, Week 11. And that is at That is on ESPN and ABC. That is on Monday Night Football. It is the second time ever that Monday Night Football has had the two prior Super Bowl teams play each other. Do you know the other one?
No, I do not.
1997, the New England Patriots playing the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
Yep. So, that is going there. Now, saying that, they're saying that the New Orleans Saints has the easiest schedule in the NFL. Chicago Bears are second, Atlanta Falcons third, and San Francisco 49ers fourth. Now, I don't know if that is the easiest schedule, period, or if that's fantasy football type talk. So, I don't know about that. Now, we have 3 games going to going to England, London.
Oh, that's right, yes.
And then there will be 2 games that will be played in Germany. Now, I thought the first game was going to play in Frankfurt and then the other one was going to be played in Munich, but now I found out that they're both in Frankfurt. The first one is the Kansas City Chiefs. They're the host team. Will play the Miami Dolphins. Now, saying that, I think Clark Hunt did a way to screw Tyreek Hill from trying to come back to Kansas City and try to show off on the Chiefs and all that. So he said, heck, let's just play it in Germany. I have no problems doing that. So that's what they did. Oh, my God.
You won't hear the crowd being confused.
Right. You won't.
For Tyreek.
Well, and, as Tyreek was there as a player, he was a great player. He is probably arguably the best wide receiver in Kansas City Chiefs history.
Yes.
He led the Chiefs to a Super Bowl. I still remember when he scored that touchdown against Buffalo in the 13 seconds.
I mean, he definitely has, and he's got a fan base here, and there's rightfully so. I mean,
absolutely.
It just comes down to the business side of it.
Right, and he has made some comments after he left, But Patrick Mahomes is not worried about it. If Patrick Mahomes is not worried about it, why are we worried about it?
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is the one that's getting his Super Bowl ring, not Tyreek Hill.
No, that's
so,
true.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other one is the Indianapolis Colts and the New England Patriots. Kansas City is playing in Week 11, and then the Patriots and the Colts will be playing in Week 12. And then you had I'll have to look it up real quick.
And that's in Germany?
Those are the ones. Yeah, those are the ones in Germany. So actually, I think I have them here.
I wonder what kind of attendance they've been getting in some of those European.
Oh, they sell out.
Oh, they do?
Oh, yeah. If they didn't sell out,
do they sell out soccer stadiums, or they just got their own little fields?
Now, I'm trying to think. Let's see. Wembley. Here we go. Wembley Stadium, Week 4. The Atlanta Falcons will play at the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then the other one is Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and I believe that's the newer stadium, the new fancier stadium. Wembley Stadium is the old soccer stadium. But then the next week, the Jacksonville Jaguars will play as the visitors to the Buffalo Bills. So Jacksonville will be staying in England 2 weeks in a row.
Huh.
Yep.
Okay.
And then in the week 6, so 3 weeks, so it'll be 3 weeks in a row, there will be London games. And the third one, and all of these are at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. It will be the Baltimore Ravens playing the Tennessee Titans. So, yep. And this one is the Deuce Bank Park in Frankfurt, and both of them. And then you got Indianapolis Colts at the New England Patriots. And those are the 5 international games. And with that, we are at the end of the first half of Any Given Sunday. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we will be back. We will talk more NFL because we can always talk NFL. Nobody gets bored talking NFL. Obviously, Roger Goodell loves it when we talk NFL. So we're going to do that. 816-599-6893 is the phone number. Call in, speak your piece. Love to hear from you. And then we will get back after this break. So we're all right, we are back on Any Given Sunday on KUAW Radio. Brian Kress, the awesome voice, Coach 24, Darwin Penny, who is not here tonight, but he's still the co-host and still the rock on the show. And we've got DJ Scatter, George Walker behind the scenes running the show for us. So making sure everything runs great for us. So just one more. I'm just going to go over everything that I've got here. Now, we talked about the international games, and then obviously the first game of the season will be the Kansas City Chiefs, because that's when they will raise their flag, get their rings, all the celebrations, blah blah blah, and then hopefully they will stomp the Detroit Lions and give them any hope of thinking that they have a chance against them. And then Monday, and then it was Sunday Night Football, Dallas at looks like normally they play a couple of games on Monday Night Football, but this one looks like this could be the only one. And maybe the next week they'll do 2 games. But we will find out in less than a half an hour. We'll find out what the schedules are and stuff. So then week 5, Dallas versus San Francisco at Levi's Stadium in San Francisco. That's Sunday Night Football. And then you have week 11, you have the Eagles and Chiefs, second game with the 2 Super Bowl the 2 teams that participated. Hey, I got it right. Participated in the Super Bowl the prior year. And the first one was obviously 1997 with the Patriots and the Packers. And then we have week 12, which is the first Black Friday game, Miami versus the New York Jets. And then you have week 13, you have San Francisco versus the Philadelphia Eagles, the rematch of the NFC Championship game that San Francisco's still whining that they got robbed because their quarterback got hurt and they couldn't play very well after that. And then you have Christmas Day, which is Monday. It's actually at noon, and the Raiders playing the Chiefs. And then you have the second game, the New York Giants playing at the Philadelphia Eagles, and that will be at 3:30. So those are the 2 games of Christmas. That seems like a Sunday day, because you usually have the noon and then you have the 3:30 games. So that's what they got. And then you've got week 17, New Year's Eve, Bengals versus Chiefs. Okay, now we got that going. Now I am going to look up the Chiefs' schedule. I have the Chiefs' schedule. Now, they said it's 7 o'clock that the Chiefs' schedule and all the other 31 teams would get their schedules. Well, I already have it. That's because I'm special. Very special. Isn't that right, Mr. Walker? Aren't I special? I am very special. No, I don't now. Thank you. No, I am here. I am just hearing me talking. That's it. So I don't hear no back noise. So saying that, I am special, aren't I, Mr. Walker?
Yes. Yes, you are.
So here is the Chiefs' schedule. So the first one, which is Thursday night, they are at home and they will play the Lions. The second week on Sunday at noon, they will play at Jacksonville and play the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then the next week, 9/24, which is actually my daughter's 25th birthday, the Chicago Bears will come into town. Then they will play at 3:25 p.m. And then you have the Jets in week 4. They will play in New York. and that will be the first game in October, and that will be Sunday Night Football. And then you've got the next week, 10-8, you have the Minnesota Vikings going to Minnesota, so you have back-to-back road games. And so actually they will start off 3 of the first 5 games are on the road, and 4 of the 3 weeks after the home opener will be on the road. So they've got Minnesota Vikings, and that will be the 325 game also. Then they will play Thursday night at home against the Denver Broncos, 7:15 obviously. And then the next week they will play at home against the Los Angeles Chargers. I wanted to say San Diego so bad. But the Los Angeles Chargers, and they will play at 325. And then the week after, they will play the Broncos for the second time in roughly 2.5 weeks, I get, or actually it'll be more like a little bit more than 2.5 weeks because they're playing a team and then the Chargers and then the Broncos. But they will be going to Denver. The weather will still be nice out there, and that will also be at 3:25 p.m. Then the next week, they will be in Germany, and they will play the Miami Dolphins in Germany, 9:30 our time, but roughly it will be about 3 or 4 o'clock, I think, how that is. I can't remember the time difference. I'm going to have to learn that. And then week 10, they have their bye at November 12th. So they'll have their bye. And then Monday Night Football, Philadelphia Eagles at home. And they play at 7:15, obviously. Now, I do remember 20 years ago, I remember taking my son to the Chiefs game, and it was a Thursday night game. My son, I put my son and my daughter name in a drawing to be a junior guest sportscaster. And so Brian, I get this phone call from somebody from the Chiefs telling me that Brian had won. And so we got to go to the game. We got lanyards and passes, and we got to walk on the field. And it was against the Philadelphia Eagles. So we got to check all that out. My son got to talk with Raymond Grigsby, Mr. Jazz guy, and rest in peace, Mr. Griggs, or Bill Grigsby. I don't know why I said Ray. Bill Grigsby. And I remember Carl Peterson coming up and talking with Bill Grigsby. And Bill Grigsby he seemed like he was the one that was more in charge than Carl Peterson. You remember how Carl Peterson had that attitude, like he was the man and everything. Mr. Walker, that's all right. I know you're busy over there, so.
I was watching football plays.
Okay, gotcha. So anyway, my son got to talk with Bill Grigsby, and I've got pictures. I'll have to bring them in and show you. And this was awesome. This was 20 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and yeah, it was so awesome. I mean, Carl Peterson was Marty Schottenheimer. I don't know if Marty Schottenheimer was not the head coach then. But Carl Peterson was still the general manager and everything, and it was just an awesome time. I still got the lanyard that shows that we were there. We got to walk on the field. We got pictures. We got people that they took pictures of us and stuff. And normally you would be up in the upper seats and stuff like that. We were 10 rows from the field. I was like, oh my goodness, this was awesome. We just had a blast. So anyway, November 20th, and it was roughly about the same time because we had to wear heavy coats and everything else. So that's what it made me think about that. So Kansas City will host the Eagles on Monday Night Football, and then you've got the week after. You have going to the Raiders on Sunday, week 12, and they will play at 3:25. And then the next week, they will play the Packers, and the Packers will be on Sunday Night Football, 7:20. And then you have week 14. After that, you play the Buffalo Bills. And so I think the NFL was trying to make sure that, I mean, you can't put all of the top games at the end of the season because, they're trying to make it special and stuff like that. So, like, when Buffalo beat Kansas City, like, in the middle of the season, they think it wasn't a big deal. Well, this is week 14. So this is towards the end of the season. So in case there's a great game, the game is awesome. There could be a wrong call, and then you have the rematch. And so they're going to always talk about the rematch, how week 14, it was this score and everything else. So, and then we will go to Foxborough on a Monday night for a Monday Night Football. And it is the Patriots. Then Christmas, they will play the Las Vegas Raiders, and they will play at noon. And then you've got week 17. You've got the Bengals playing at Arrowhead at 3:25, and then to be determined is what it is. They will play the Los Angeles Chargers in Los Angeles. So they will end the season in L.A. And so we will figure out when, where, and how at a later time. But that is the NFL schedule for the Kansas City Chiefs. So this is pretty good schedule. I like this. You've got the big teams. Even the Patriots is still considered big, even though they haven't been succeeding as well in the last few years as they would like. But you got the Bills, you got the Patriots, you got the Raiders, you got the Bengals, you got the Packers, you got the Eagles. This is after the week 10 bye that the Chiefs have. They're playing the Eagles, which could be arguably the best team in the NFC. You have the Raiders, you have the Packers, who either can be a very good team like they have been the last few years, or they could be a doormat with love. And then you got the Bills. The Bills will always be around. And then you got the Patriots. You have the Raiders. And Chiefs and Raiders are always a special time. And then you've got the Bengals. And then you've got the Chargers.
Well, yeah, the Chiefs and Raiders are good even when the Raiders are bad because we still like to beat up on them.
Oh, yeah. So, and to go out to what they call is West Arrowhead in Las Vegas because they can't beat the Chiefs period anyway. So and that is always a great thing.
That's been a bad one on them, but hey, that's their tough luck right now.
Yep, that's right. That's just bonus for us. So that is the Kansas City Chiefs 2023-2024 schedule. If anybody wants to call in and try and speak your piece, 816-599-6893 is the phone number. Now, we're going to talk a little bit of NBA basketball, and we've got a couple of games that are tonight. We have Boston playing at Philadelphia. Now, Philadelphia beat Boston on Tuesday night to take a 3-1 lead, and this game is really important because Philadelphia has had trouble putting away the Boston Celtics. In fact, they have lost 7 of the last 8 games when they have tried to eliminated the Celtics. So the Celtics has their number. And last year the Celtics were down 3-2 against the Milwaukee Bucks and turned around and beat the Milwaukee Bucks to end up going to the NBA Finals, where they ended up losing to the Golden State Warriors.
Well, they've got to win tonight.
Yeah, they have to, because if you go back to Boston,
that game should be going on now.
Yeah, the game should be playing about right. No, they play at 7:30.
Oh, 7:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be at 7:30. So they have that game. And then you have the Denver Nuggets trying to close out their series with the Phoenix Suns, playing tonight at 10 o'clock. Phoenix has just struggled, but the two games, in fact, the one game that they played, it was Sunday night, I believe, where Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, not Melvin Booker, that's Devin's dad, and he played at Missouri. But Devin Booker combined for like 85 points, and they scored like 80. They either scored or assisted on 88% of the points that were scored. I believe what it was like they scored 113. And it was my correction. It was Friday night, because it was the 121 score, and they scored 106. They either assisted on it or scored 106 points.
That game has started in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
It's,
maybe
Celtics are leading 13-3.
Ooh. Well, that's only the first quarter.
First quarter.
But they are in trouble. And here's the thing. Joel Embiid has finally got his MVP, and now if he doesn't perform MVP style and put away these Boston Celtics, they're going to question him for several. They're going to question him for several years on that. And a side note on this. My friend is still hoping that the Boston Celtics win the NBA championship, because he has a 4-game parlay, which had the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl, had Georgia winning the national title, had UConn winning the NCAA men's basketball title. So they've done all three of those. Now, if he can get the Boston Celtics to win the NBA championship, the NBA Finals, out of $5 bet, he would win $3,200. Yeah. So I know he's cheering for the Boston Celtics right now. So, but
they got to win too.
Yeah, they have to win too, but they can do it. And Philadelphia, they're at home, and Embiid has averaged like 39 points when he has played at home, but he has averaged 25 points on the road. So he's going to have to put him away tonight, because then he'll have to go back to the Garden Center, or the Garden in Boston it would be on Sunday. So, and then like I said, the other game is Denver and Phoenix. Phoenix pretty much only has Kevin Garnett and Booker, because you've got that the center may not play. They're pessimistic about him playing tonight. And you've already got Chris Paul, who is probably their best leader, at least playing, being on the court and everything else. He's not playing tonight. His groin is still bad, and he cannot play. So if Denver can't put them away, yeah, they still got Sunday, but just like the 76ers, they just need to get this taken care of. Now, The other two, you have the Miami Heat and the New York Knicks. And the Knicks, they were playing really cool, because they beat the Heat Get that?
Yeah,
They
okay.
beat the Heat.
I need my cymbals here.
Yeah, there you go.
Where's my sound effect?
So by I'm all choked up now. So they ended up beating Miami. They are still down 3-2, but a lot of people think that New York can come back and beat the Miami Heat. So, but the Friday night game is in Miami, so we'll have to see about that. And the other is the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors. And Monday or Wednesday night.
And that's the marquee event.
Oh, yeah, that's the marquee event. Well, Monday night, LeBron James, I believe, scored like 50 points. I mean, he just lit it up and made it look like that the Warriors are in massive trouble. But then they finally pulled it together, and they had 3 guys scoring 20 points or more. And then they won last night's game. So now they've got Friday night at L.A. And if, L.A. has really had the upper hand. But do you think the Warriors have a chance now?
I wouldn't count the Warriors out and stuff, especially they're spreading the ball around.
Right.
That's a good thing. And does LeBron have to carry the team this whole next game too? I mean, it's really for him to have to score 50 points,
right,
on a win at 36 years old, 38.
Right.
That's
right, and it was only a 3-point victory. It wasn't like it was a huge victory, and then they turned around and lost last night. So
you're asking him to do a lot.
Yeah, you are,
and I think that they still have a chance. They're not, like I said, this is the marquee matchup. Everybody, I bet you their viewership is a lot higher than a lot of the other games.
Oh, I imagine so.
When you have Steph Curry and the Lakers, going head to head right now.
Yep,
that's basketball sort of at its best.
Oh, absolutely, and that's what you want.
Yes,
you want them to go 7 games. So,
yeah.
It'll make the NBA happy, and it'll make everybody happy. So. We are done with our show tonight. Now, one quick notice. The Kansas City Panthers this past Saturday beat the Mid-City Cobras 30-8, and they, like the Royals wanting to, they moved over 500 with a 2-1 record. They will play this Saturday in Wichita, which I am going to because I get to see my brother at the same time.
Okay.
And they will be playing the Kansas Diamondbacks. So let's wish the Panthers a good luck and hope the best, and hopefully they will come back with a victory and be 3-1. So with that, with George Walker, DJ Scatter running the show, Coach 24, Darwin Penny. I am Brian Kress, the Awesome Voice. This is Any Given Sunday on KUAW. Be awesome, not angry, and you guys have yourself a fantastic, awesome sports weekend.
And happy Mother's Day.
Yes, absolutely.